Back to my channel, guys. This is Dr. Anshika. I hope you guys are doing well. In today's video we are going to learn about accounting of depreciation. Okay, so we are going to learn various methods of depreciation along with the formulas and examples, right? So these are the various methods of depreciation. We are going to learn these one by one. Okay, so before starting, let's understand the meaning of the word depreciation. Okay, so depreciation word was derived from the Latin word that is deprecium. Okay, so D means decline and premium means price. So that means decrease in price is the simple meaning of the word depreciation, right? Now, why depreciation occurs on any asset? It could be due to constant usage or wear and tear of assets, right? So the point to be noted over here is that depreciation is always accounted for long-term assets, okay, and not short-term assets. It's always on long-term assets, okay. So I can say that depreciation is a gradual and permanent decrease in the value of the asset, okay. But in accounting term, I can say that depreciation is the spread of cost of asset, okay, over its useful life. Now what is useful life? That means if I purchase an asset, say a car, okay, I purchased a car and its useful life is say 10 years. I can use it for 10 years. So how will I depreciate my car? Say my car is for say 10 lakh, okay, and the useful life is 10 years. So I will allocate this 1 lakh over 10 years, okay, and we are spreading the cost so as to account for the depreciation, right? Okay, moving further, we have different terms for different kind of assets. We use different terms for depreciation. First kind of asset, that is the intangible assets that you cannot touch or feel, say for goodwill, trademarks and patents. Instead of depreciation, the term that you use is amortization. Alright, okay, for the wasting assets such as mines, oil wells, sand pits, instead of depreciation we use the term depletion. And for the terms like for technology changes, okay, there's a change in technology or say market demand or improvement in the production methods, the term that is being used is the obsolescence, right? And last is the depreciation, that is being used for say damage of the property or for the very old asset. Okay, so these are the various terms that are being used instead of the depreciation according to the nature of the asset. Okay, now very important topic for today is the methods of charging depreciation. Now that can be charged on the basis of time, price, capital or source fund and use space, right? In time base we have fixed installment method or straight line method, then we have reducing or diminishing balance, written down value, then we have is the double declining method, and last is the sum of years digits, right? And in the next we have is the price base. In price base we have two categories. First is the revaluation method, then we have is the repairs provision method. Moving further, we have capital or source fund. In this we have sinking fund, insurance policy method, annuity method, and in use, that means according to the usage of the asset, We have depletion method, unit method, mileage method and working hour method. We are going to discuss all these methods one by one, right? So stay tuned. So the first method under the time-based method of depreciation is the fixed or equal installment, or very famously known as the straight line method. Okay, so as the very name suggests, in this the rate of depreciation or the amount of depreciation precisely is fixed and is equal, right? So what do? We divide or we spread the cost of the asset in equal terms over the useful life of the asset, right? We will understand this with the help of the example. Firstly, let's understand what is the formula for the straight line method or fixed depreciation or the equal installment method. The formula is cost of the asset minus salvage value. That means when you go and sell the value, what value or the price you will get for your asset when you sell it, divided by the useful life. That means over how many years you can use that asset, right? So let's understand this with the help of an example. You have an asset of say 25,000, okay, and it has its salvage value, that is 0, and the useful life of the asset is the 8 years. So now when we put this in this formula, we will calculate the depreciation. Okay, so cost over here is 25,000. Okay, 25,000 minus salvage value. What is the salvage value over here? 0. Minus 0 divided by the useful life, that is 8 years. Okay, so computing this, I get 3,125. So this is my amount of depreciation that I am going to charge, right? We'll see this also. Now over here in the example, continuing example, right, for 8 continuous years, over here can you see, for 8 continuous years the rate of depreciation or the amount of depreciation is the same, that is 3,125, the amount of depreciation that will be charged over the useful life of the asset will be the same. How am I computing the depreciation? This is the cost of my asset, okay, minus depreciation in the first year. So over here when I minus this, I get 21,875. Now this will be the opening balance in the next year. Second year the opening balance will be 21,875. From that I am going to deduct the depreciation, right? After deducting the depreciation, what do I get? I get the closing balance, that is 18,750. So this becomes the opening balance in the next year. So we keep on doing this and see the amount of depreciation remains the same over its useful life of the asset. I hope this is understood to you guys. If not, then please comment in the comment section. I will surely reply, right? So the next method under the time-based method is reducing or diminishing balance method, or very popularly known as the written down value method. Over here in simple terms, we can say that rate of depreciation is constant, right? However, the amount of depreciation keeps on reducing every year or every useful year of an asset, right? Let's understand this with the help of the example. Over here I have taken an example and the example says that the cost of the machinery was 1 lakh. Okay, on that 50,000 was incurred as installation charges and the rate of depreciation is the 10%, right? So we have to compute the depreciation. Now over here you can see in the first year what I have taken is the purchase price, that is 1 lakh, plus installation charges. So this is the cost of my machinery. Okay, so 1,50,000 is the opening balance. Rate of depreciation is 10%. So depreciation comes out to be 15,000. So out of this opening balance, when I deduct the depreciation, this is what I get as a closing balance, 1,35,000. Okay, so the closing balance in first year, that is in 2011, becomes the opening balance in the next year. Okay, now on this opening balance, that is 1,35,000, rate of depreciation is 10%. Okay, I charge the depreciation, that is 13,500. Okay, so the closing balance will be 1,35,000 minus depreciation 13,500. Closing balance would be 1,21,500, right? Okay, so this again becomes the opening balance in the third year. So over here you can see the amount of depreciation is decreasing year on year, right? However, rate of depreciation remains the same. Understood? So the next method is the double declining balance depreciation method. Okay, so this method is a mixture of both straight line and diminishing value method. How come? See, the depreciation keeps on reducing year on year. Okay, this is the diminishing value method, and the rate of depreciation remains constant. So this is the straight line method. So this method is basically used for the asset that loses its value very quickly over few years. Example could be computers, okay, electronics, mobile devices, vehicles, and so on and so forth, right? Now how do we compute the depreciation? Double declining method, 2 into straight line depreciation percentage, whatever is the percentage of straight line depreciation, okay, into opening balance of the book value, opening book value of the asset, right? Let's understand this with the help of an example. Over here we have an asset, say of 30,000. Okay, so the expected life for the useful life is 10 years and the salvage value is 3,000. Okay, now under the straight line depreciation, how do we compute? Cost 30,000 minus salvage value divided by the useful years of the asset. So the amount of depreciation under straight line method comes out to be 2,700. Okay, now I have to compute the rate of depreciation. For computing the rate of depreciation, what have I taken? Amount of depreciation 2,700 divided by this, the cost minus salvage value. Okay, cost minus salvage value, that is 30,000 minus 3,000, comes out to be 27,000. So whenever we are going to divide this and multiply by 100, we get how much? 10%. So this is the straight line depreciation percentage. We have to compute the percentage. Once we have computed the percentage, next step is to multiply this with 2, because rate of depreciation is double, right? So this comes out to be 20%. Now in the first year, how much depreciation will be computed on the cost? That is 30,000 into 20% rate of depreciation. So this amounts to be 6,000, right? In the first year, we are going to charge 6,000 as a depreciation. Okay, so in the next year, I told you like diminishing value, right? So we are taking this opening balance 30,000 minus 6,000. What is the value? 24,000. Now on 24,000, 20% of the depreciation will be charged in the second year. Okay, so this comes out to be 4800. I hope this is clear to you guys. So the last method under time base is the sum of years digit. Over here what happens is that we take the number of years. Okay, say the life of an asset is 5 years. So what do? We keep on adding all the years. Say 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5. Okay, so this equals to 15, right? So what do we do in first year? How do we depreciate it? Taking it as 5, because 5 is the total number of useful years. Okay, divided by sum of all the years, that is 15, into amount of asset. Okay, now let's understand this with the help of an example. Say we have an asset of 4000 rupees. In first year I am going to charge my depreciation as 5 divided by 15. Okay, so this comes out to be approximately 1333, right? In the next year what am I going to do? Taking the value, taking the cost 4000 into next year would be 4 divided by 15, right? This comes out to be around 1033. So we are going to continue this up till the last year. Okay,